and Widdecombe launched fiery attack on Boris Johnson's Brexit deal on last night's BBC Newsnight. The Brexit party met that the Prime Minister's current Brexit deal recently agreed with the EU is Brexit only in name, arguing the agreement would still bind the UK to certain EU laws. Responding to Newsnight presenter Kirsty Walk's question on Ms Widdecombe's stance on the deal, the MEP said, "In 2 or 3 years' time, when we're still being told by the government of the day that we can't do such and such because it conflicts with EU law, the public are going to scratch their heads and say, hang on, I thought we left because, if you look at the detail of the agreement, it still signs us up to the supremacy of EU law in resolving disagreements. The political declaration that it itself makes binding confines us to a level playing field." Mr Johnson's New Deal was announced on Thursday, which he said was great and would finally allow the UK to focus on policies other than Brexit. The deal looks to avoid the return of a hard border between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland after Brexit. This comes following fears a physical border may reignite tensions in the region and spoil the Good Friday Agreement. Mr Johnson's deal replaces the controversial Irish backstop plan that was part of Theresa May's deal. Aside from this, much of the deal Ms May planned has been kept the same. Economic ties with the EU will become more distant under Mr Johnson's deal, which the government hopes will lead to a free trade agreement. The whole of the UK will leave the EU customs union, meaning Britain will now be able to strike trade deals with other countries in the future. There will be a legal customs border between Northern Ireland and the Republic, though the Republic will remain part of the EU. In practice, some customs checks will take place between Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Goods will then be checked at points of entry into the province. Duty tax won't automatically have to be paid on goods coming into Northern Ireland from Britain, though some tax will have to be paid on items at risk of then being transported from Northern Ireland into the Republic of Ireland. On rules surrounding other goods, Northern Ireland would stick to the regulations of the EU's single market, rather than its British counterpart. This removes the need for product standard and safety checks on goods at the border between Ireland and Northern Ireland, as both will be part of an all-Ireland regulatory zone. But, Northern Ireland sticking to the EU's single market rules means more checks between the rest of the UK, which won't be sticking to the EU single market rules. Enforcing these rules will be done by UK officials at points of entry into Northern Ireland, but the EU will have the right to have its own officials present. This has led many to speculate that the EU might be able to overrule decisions made by the UK regarding checks. Northern Ireland will have the opportunity to vote on the new provision, though will be unable to have a full say until the transition period is over, no earlier than 2025. Another new aspect of the deal includes VAT, whereby EU law on value-added tax will apply in Northern Ireland but only on goods. Other parts of the deal like citizens' rights, money and future relations between the UK and EU have stayed much the same.